Big prep, big prep, big prep. Everything is coded in their world. And there's nothing more in their world than the UFC because that's like Trump's favorite sport. It's also my favorite sport. I know his mom's middle name was Ann with an E at the end. So was mine. What are you going to do? I've been buying My Pillow for pillows since, I don't know, 2010, 2009. I don't know. And then My Pillow became the gigantic sponsor of Trump. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're trolled here. You're at the right channel. Um, so you got UFC 298. The 98th verse is the White Horse crowning. And all the talk is about UFC 300, UFC 300. And you got to go back to the movie 300, which was all about war. And if you're not familiar with that movie, we can just, what can we do? Let's try it again. The movie 300. So you see the blood, the war, you know, and they just gave you 298, UFC 298 on the 17th. So they're saying two, the 98th verse. And I wanted you to now take a look at when you go to iPet Goat, which is very important. Oh boy. So nothing's working. See how many times I clicked that and it wouldn't? Yeah. So I don't know if they'll try to give me a copyright strike or what, because it didn't work. But that's the flower full moon of 2023 because she's sitting inside a total solar eclipse. There's your blue moons connected heads in August, August 1st, August 30th. You had full moons. There's 12 of them. That represents the 12 moons. But if there's a blue moon year, that means there is a 13th moon. And that's what the flower full moon was. And there's your flower full moon delivered by the total solar eclipse. She's sitting inside the corona. And so she's the April 20th eclipse, which was the new moon that delivered the flower full moon. And that's when Obama starts sweating. So you always want to track the dates of that flower full moon, always. And it was on May 5th, 2023. If you run that to 2 days before Leap Day, again, Leap Day, I do have a playlist on him rising on Leap Day due to the movie Quantum Leap or the TV show Quantum Leap. It's a Wonderful Leap episode, which featured Donald Trump riding around in a taxi cab in New York with his mother and father. And that means he would go down on 227, which have had Bond's car tag in the dark in the Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises, that was his car tag. Where did I have that? I had it. I thought I had it in my prep. Yeah. Says Gotham 649 8227. So him go and it's in red. It's in the fire and ice colors, which they gave us at the Super Bowl, the blue and the red. And which of course blue and red make purple, but somebody also called it fire and ice. So you see the 98 right there. 649, and then an ugly 8, and then 227. So 298 days from the flower full moon is 227. And 300 days from the flower full moon falls on leap day. It's 300. And everything's been about UFC 300, UFC 300, UFC 300. So it's just interesting. It's very interesting. And what else did I have in my prep? My October 28th Gateway Arch friend is, like a palindrome where it's the same going backwards and forwards. 18381 days old on this full moon Saturday. The 22nd is a very high watch day because it's 2 days before full moon, and iPetGoat shows him rising up through a full moon. Dark night rises on the third day. Trump has a palindrome 28382 in both directions, backwards and forwards, on 227. In the middle of that number is 838. 83 is murder in Gematria, 38 is murder in Gematria. So you have to really be focused on 227. On the rising day, on It's a Wonderful Leap Day, on Leap Day, it ends in 84, which is 7 times 12. 7 number for cleansing, 12 number for the church. So the book of Revelation would be opened on his rising day. If we run that to the Ring of Fire eclipse, which would be the Abomination of Desolation Day, in my opinion, it is a perfect 216 days. 6 times 6 times 6, and James Bond's card tag. So him going down on Tuesday, the 27th, and rising on Leap Day, Thursday. Remember, Thursday's named after Thor, and Thor had the right eye patch in one of his movies. Hey, it's October 2nd, y'all. Y'all see the 227 when I said that? Wow, that was weird. That was a fusion of what I have right here. No, I got here 229, but that's crazy. So if you run it from 227, it's 218 days. 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. So 2, 6 plus 6 plus 6. TO2. If we run the 29th to the X across America total solar, it is 39 days. And I've got all of this on a playlist, and there was a 4139 combination. I can't remember what that was. But anyway, it all lines up very interesting. I was watching The Godfather and thought about Last Tango in Paris. And because there's the Paris Olympics. And I started running Last Tango in Paris to different dates. You do have 187 fused with 718, Porsche 911, Porsche 718. Dark Knight came out on 718. That does fall on the Ides of March. If you run it all the way to right after the Olympics, 2 days before that full moon, it is 188, 72. That's a big deal also. That was the Last Tango in Paris premiere date. No, that's right. I had two release dates. What it was New York Film Festival, October 14th. And then it was in France release December 15th, then Italy December 16th. And that's all it shows. So I don't know when it was released in the United States. But it's very interesting dates for sure. We Are the World, We Are the Children. My friend sent me the lyrics because I put on my Facebook about Jude being the book before Revelation and the Beatles' Hey Jude. And those lyrics are pretty telling. It's basically telling Trump to go out and get the divine feminine, which is what births him in Adele's opening credits of Skyfall. And when you read the lyrics for We Are the World, it is like the world coming together under the Antichrist. And so I wanted to run that to the Abomination of Desolation Day. It's also like the Beatles song Come Together Right Now Over Me, which we need to run that. But in the recording date of We Are the World and the release date of We Are the World, you do have 144 that begins the days to October 2nd. Remember, Ghost of the Machine came out on October 2nd. Donnie Darko was all about October 2nd. And it was all about an eclipse. Patrick Swayze said, "Sun, sun." And then his head came in and blocked the sun while Donnie was laying on a golf course. And the Trump event taking place at a rally or a golf course, that's pretty much the two places. But coming out of court, anything like that, more than possible, of course. We Are the World was January 28th when it was recorded. And that also begins with 144. So if we say Come Together by the Beatles, that was released on October 6, 1969. October 6, 1969. We're going to run that to October 2nd. 20085. I don't really see anything there. But let's run Trump's birthday to that, since he's going to be the one they all come together over, because he'll be possessed by Satan. So they're coming really to Satan. Heisman Trophy is Heisman is simply he is man. Who is man? Satan is now man. And so to Trump, it is 322. 23322. 23 years, 3 months, 22 days. So they definitely coded 2332 is also Eve in Strong's Concordance, Old Testament. So there's a lot going on there with that number. You look at the amount of weeks, there it is. 1216 weeks. That's 121, which is Antichrist and Simple Gematria, fused with 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6, and James Bond's card tag. So they did it in the weeks. And in the months, days, 322. But come together, Antichrist, 121, 216. Trump to the release of that song. Fascinating. Let's now go to the prep itself. on just a second. I guess it began here. Wikipedia, Hey Jude. Of course, Apple Records, the Apple, the Garden of Eden. If you look at Hey Jude, the book before Revelation, the length of the song is 7:12. Again, 7's number for cleansing, 12's number for the church. Came out August 26, 1968. Did I have a reason to look at a specific date? It hits 666 months on 2/26. So again, the leap day thing is really a big deal, isn't it? Because what comes after 2/26? The book of Revelation on 2/29. 666 months, 3 days. It's a big deal, man. Really is. Few other things I'm looking at. Okay. All right, let's keep going with the prep. Ana de Armas. She was in No Time to Die, and she was also with Daniel Craig in Knives Out. And why did I? Oh, she's got a palindrome on the full moon, on the buck full moon of July. 1, 3, 2, 3, 1 in both directions. So that's just something to keep our right eye on. 2 days before a full moon, though, is when I think it's all going to go off. Ana de Armas and Knives Out and No Time to Die. The knives will be used by the possessed goats to cut the heads off the sheep. Edward Scissorhands. The lady said he's a demon or he's from, I don't remember, but she was like this fake church person. So if you run her, as she was in No Time to Die 2, the Abomination of Desolation Day, you do get Revelation 13:3, which is the deadly wound, but did live, which speaks to the Abomination of Desolation Day. So that's pretty fascinating. I really think the Abomination of Desolation is this Ring of Fire eclipse on October 2nd, based off the fact that Ghost of the Machine came out on that day. And it is from the technology they will enter the humans when they worship the image of the beast, which will, of course, be technology related in itself, won't it? Well, of course it will be. Rami Malek was the guy that killed James Bond. He also was Mr. Queen. So his birthday is May 12th, the month of the May Queen. I ran him to this full moon in April. 15688. And it's 15686 2 days before it. And then he would rise. So, of course, the April full moon is another one to look at. 2 days before a full moon is critical. And fascinating. So 817, when you press pause, that pops up on the 4K player. 8/17. It's literally telling you 2 days before the August full moon is the right eye event. Now, if you go to Telling Truth 3, where I did some items, of course, Hines Ward has the 86. That, if you pause it, it gives you 18 frames of the movie instead of 17. So it would have been 9:17. I mean 9:8. No. As it was 8:17 holding the cow, it would have been 8:18 holding the cowl. Well, that would be the day after the event anyway. But so one of the timestamps gives you 18 frames when you pause it. And I show you both. And because one doesn't account for the closing credits. It's as simple as that. 17 frames. And but yeah, Hines Ward is now what Hines is doing is he is standing next to number 76. I'm sorry, number 17 for August 17th. Let's go ahead and show you that. So there's 8:17 coded right there in the 4K player. That's when you pause it and it shows you how many minutes are remaining on the right side and how many minutes and seconds you are into the movie. And that disappears after about 3 or 4 seconds. But there's also a button you can push that'll show you constantly just the length of the movie and where you're at in the movie. And that's the one that gives you 18/18 instead of 17. So there's 2 different ways they show you time. So notice when they're showing the right eye, I show you the other way they give you time. And it's at the 1 hour and 15-minute mark of the movie, followed by 48 seconds. 48 is Donald Trump in full reduction. And we know that 11.5 code is code for his death, because it's November 5th when Marty knocked down the Twin Pines. And it's 2 days before 11.7, rising on Revelation 11.7, the beast rising from the pit. Now remember, those 2 transfer portal to each other, 11.5 and 11.7, on the Ides of March and St. Patty's Day. So that's pretty fascinating. That's an extremely high watch day for me. It is not 2 days before a full moon. If it was 2 days before a full moon, I'd be convinced, wouldn't I? Like if St. Patty's was a full moon. No, that March full moon is a lunar eclipse, and it is on the 25th. So the 23rd is in play for sure. But yeah, they coded that. And you know that's a match when you pause it without clicking that button. Again, I'll explain out on that video at Telling Truth 3, because I show you in real time how it works. It gives you 8:17. How's my volume? Forgot to check it, which means it's low. Sorry about that. Now I sound better, don't I? Yeah. So what they're telling you is the 11.5 event is on 8:17, which is right after the Olympics opening and closing ceremonies. Opening ceremonies on 7/26, which is Antichrist in English gematria, which is simple gematria or English ordinal times 6. And the closing ceremonies is on the last day of the dog days of summer, August 11th. Then Sirius rises August 12th. And then he would go down 8:17, August 17th, and then he would rise on the full moon of 8/19. 8 days after the Olympics closing ceremony ritual. It's an extremely high watch day. 1955 is 224.37. Oh, take flight. Remember that? So remember the take flight that I have? The 1955. This was per a previous video. When Bond is about to get his right eye wound and before he goes through the mouth of the dragon, he looks at his cell phone and it says flight 226. Well, if they turn that upside down, it's 229 and he's taking flight on leap day. So be it. You have a 1955 coded in here also. So when I'm watching The Dark Knight Rises, 1955 into the movie has you remaining time of 224.37. So it's giving you the full moon, which means he would go down on the 22nd and rise on Saturday's full moon of the 24th. So it's a high watch day, yes, but it's probably in 5th or 6th place. How would I rank them right now? August 17th and the Ides of March are probably tied with each other. May 21st, probably after that. Because he would rise on the May 23rd full moon. The May is a divine feminine month. He is birthed by the divine feminine. And the beauty of it is it's a Gemini sun with a Sagittarian full moon, which is exactly what he was born under. So he would be born again with the same sun and moon. So that May 21st is big. So Hines Ward 86 is right next to the 17 for August 17th. The 86ing will take place on the 17th. I mean, when you look at all this, it almost makes you want to move August 7th. Really and truly, August 17th is probably in first place. Let's go ahead and look at a few things concerning it right now in real time while we're doing this. That full moon rising to the full moon of the May 23rd. It's 88 days. Ah, so the Mayflower full moon of 2024 to the August full moon is 88 days. And it has him being 86 days on August 17th. 86 days. And the funny part is full moon to full moon, that 88 days, it's 2 months, 27 days, which accounts for the 227 on his car tag. My goodness gracious, I know this video began with Leap Day, but wow. Is August 17th just shaping up for just this gigantic event? 53rd day is 222. And 222 is 2 days before this February's full moon. The snow full moon I'll tell you why the snow full moon is such a big deal. Because in IPEC GOAT, again, this Heliofont just messing with me big time, isn't it? The AI playing games with us. Well, it paused immediately for me, didn't it? When he goes up through that full moon, it's snowing for the snow full moon. So let's turn off sound. Let's turn up speed. See the snow falling? Snow full moon. See the snow falling? Day of the Dead, snow full moon. And he comes rising up, which puts us right back onto how 222 is an extremely high watch day. So you see all the two-way goes, three-way goes. There's so many different ways to look at when the event's going to be. There he comes rising up out of the snow full moon. That's not snow there, that's stars. But they kept showing the snow and the snow and the snow. And he's at the North Pole, which is where the abyss is. You don't live on a spinning ball. You're in a flat circle, and right in the middle is where the abyss is. It's frozen over. That's Disney's Frozen, or why they refer to, or Batman's one of his enemies, because Batman's the Antichrist, is Mr. Freeze, because the polar, the abyss is frozen over. Snow full moon? What you think? Huh. Now, Heliofont has 318 subscribers. Him going down on March 18th and rising on the first day of spring is an extremely high watch day. I turned exactly 22,900 days even. On that day. It's a high watch day for sure. So, but you do see the 53 here for the 53rd day is day 222. 86, 17, 53. $9.18 then rises. So 86 is showing. See, the full moon is on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. It is a lunar eclipse on September 17th. So it goes from 21st, 19th, 17th. It usually always drops one day each month, year after year, as we've been tracking this. And this year, it's the same day, and then skip 2 days, skip 2 days. It's all over the place in 2024. Yes, leap day messes it up, but then it after that, it drops a day a month, usually as a rule. And this time it's March 25th after leap day. Okay, because the leap month screws that math up. Because the full moon's the 25th, then go down one day, the full moon's the 24th. So it's in that -1 each month. But then since February is a short month, but this year not so short, Then March, it goes back to the 25th. Does April go now to the 24th? No, it drops to the 23rd. Okay, well, does May drop now to the 22nd? No, May is still also the 23rd. Oh, well, then June's probably now the 22nd, drops a day. Nope. June's full moon is the 21st at the summer solstice. What does it drop a day in July? Nope. It's July 21st again. So it's 23rd, 23rd, 21st, 21st, and then August 19th, and then drops 2 days to September 17th. See how crazy it is? It's a whacked out year with these full moons. So you have 917 coded, and that would be 917 when you pause it the other way. So it shows 86. And since it's called The Dark Knight Rises, is he rising on 917? In other words, is he going down on 915, September 15th? Well, that's so close to the Ring of Fire solar eclipse. So if he's going down that late, I don't think they can kill 1 out of 4 people and have war and then have the abomination of desolation. Or could they? Hang on just a second. That's my son. Yep, that was my son there. He's addicted to the UFC now. It's the only real sport there is. And of course, I don't think it's fake, but of course, it's run by Mystery Babylon 100,000%. As we've already talked about, DK almost risen, Dark Knight almost risen. So in the Dark Knight Rises, they're showing you One World Trade Tower, which represents the Antichrist rising. The twin Trumps came down, the clone and the real, or the body double and the real. The body double or the clone will be what takes the hit to the right eye. That's why the 8th is of the 7 in Revelation 17. There's only 7 kings of Mystery Babylon, and yet it speaks of an 8th. And in No Time to Die, James Bond became 008, even though they didn't say it. They gave him back his 00 status, but the black female was 007 at the time. And she goes, "What's his number?" And nobody said a word. They just ignored her like she didn't even ask. They just kept talking about what they were talking about. And she asked, and they didn't say. And you just knew it was 008 because the 8th is of the 7. And she later gives him back his 007 number. But you see what they did there. So in the movie The Dark Knight Rises, the Dark Knight is rising. They show One World Trade Tower in the movie as it's being put together. It's at its final stages. And there is also a scene that I'll put on video. Again, I've done it before because I watch these movies over and over because I'm always looking for, new dates, like now the 227 and the 817. So we're always looking, like we were looking at 817 previous years because of that frame 817 with the right eye cowl. But it was never 2 days before a full moon. This year it is. But Bruce Wayne is talking in the movie to, I think, Jim Gordon. And in the background, it's not obvious, but it's One World Trade Towers in the background. And you see this unfinished top barely in the scene. So when we get to it, I'll put it up at Telling Truth 3. If you're subscribed to here Telling Truth 2, you got to be subscribed to Telling Truth 3 also. I don't monetize my channels. Maybe one day I will. I don't know. Here's One World Trade Tower. Again, a better view maybe. But this is from the movie The Dark Knight Rises. And they're showing you The Dark Knight Rising as it's being put together. Dawn's Mart is also in The Dark Knight Rises. And We know why that was really big in the screen shot. You see the 9/11 right there. 8, 9/11. So 9/11 is fused with 144. 8, 9, 1, 1, 4, 4, 5. You see the 444s right here. Remember 37, which goes into 666, 777, 888, 111, 222, all of them. It's the 12th prime number, 12th number for the church. So 37 is another number for the church. It's the prime number for the church. And you times it by 12, the number for the church, you do get 444. And they have 444 right there. So they have 444 there. They have 144 over here, fused with 9/11. That's pretty freaky or pretty telling. And then Last Tango in Paris. And here he is dancing with his daughter in The Godfather. I woke up and started watching The Godfather last night. I mean, this morning. And it made me think of The Last Tango in Paris is the Paris Olympics, and then he's outie on 8/17, right? So anyway, that is it for this prep. Sorry about the low volume at the beginning. I forgot to check it. All right, love you.